over at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus pages want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Jerry Coe, who says, rant about the album Max and Match by Luna Odd Eye Circle. Here's a link to it. It's 25 minutes, so it's reasonably a short listen. You're probably not the biggest fan of K-pop, but this album is so good that it's crossed over and received cult followings in tons of completely different music circles. People are basically calling it the mad villainy of K-pop. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on this small collection of some of the most inventive, catchy, dense, and consistent pop tunes I've ever heard in my life. Well, I didn't feel nearly as strongly as you did about it, and I think calling it the mad villainy of K-pop seems like a lot. I mean, I'm not also the biggest fan of Mad Villainy, but that album is extremely inventive. This one, I didn't think it was that far away from the conventions of color pop or some electronic music that's very chilled out. A lot of the sounds used on different songs are pretty much the same, and there's, some of those are familiar sounds to me, though there are a lot of interesting sounds in the album, and it's all very smooth. It has a nice aesthetic. It has a soothing kind of atmosphere. It's, while still being kind of, pop music, like it's a girl group, so there's a sex appeal kind of, but more of it's a R&B kind of feel, a pop R&B singing style over really chilled out electronic beats. So depending on how you look at it, you can see that as a pretty interesting combination. It doesn't sound unnatural. You could just think of it as a very well produced K-pop album, or you could think of it as secretly a chill out electronic album that maybe appeals to future funk fans or something like that. And while having a little bit more to it than a lot of that does, some fairly interesting sounds, some decently catchy and fun songs, but I didn't find the songs all that interesting structurally. They're pretty much just pop songs. They have a fairly traditional pop song structure. It wasn't as, I don't know about most dense, really. There is a lot of sounds, and they all sound great, but I wouldn't say that it's hyper dense in the way that, something that I would think of as dense is a JPEG Mafia song is what I would describe as dense, not so much this, but or even on some level Mad Villainy, because there's just so many odd samples hitting you all the time. Maybe the individual tracks aren't hyper dense, but the album has so many different styles on it, so many different types of sounds that you would never expect to hear on a hip-hop album. I don't know if I'd go that far with this K-pop album, but it's still good. I still found it enjoyable and interesting, and would probably listen to it again if it was on, but it doesn't seem like something that I would completely fall in love with. Still though, thanks for bringing it to my attention.